Hello and good evening, everybody. I am jumping on to do a really quick video for you, which I'm calling as a part of a series called Geek on Fleek on oils. So I'm going to get a little nerdy and go into a little bit of the research about some oils. You know, in time I will share more about my story, but for those of you who are interested in the more scientific, empirical type of evidence, that's what I'm going to focus on right now. And as time goes on, like I said, I will be sharing more about, our journey with exposure to Lyme and dealing with some special needs, and that's basically during the time and period of our lives when I was introduced to essential oils and started learning about them. So it's about 4 years ago, and now my stash is big and I appreciate all that it's helped me with, and as of late it's helped me a lot with the seasonal affective, it's called SAD or seasonal affective disorder. This winter's been really cold, so one of the great oils that is used for seasonal affective disorder is bergamot. And my bergamot, ironically, is in New York en route to me here because over the weekend I left in a hurry trying to beat the storm, and I left my oils. So my sweet friend Hillary went ahead and mailed them to me. So we're gonna talk about bergamot, and as soon as it gets back, I will be really excited to get that one out. I have lots of other oils here and there, but this study was conducted in the year 2015, and the study is called Effects of Bergamot, an Essential Oil Aromatherapy on Mood States, the Parasympathetic Nervous System Activity, and Salivary Cortisol Levels in 41 healthy females. So this was conducted in Japan. And what really drew me to the oils in the beginning was a lot for the benefits of helping with anxiety and with helping with some, low feelings. I wasn't super motivated. The burden of the anxiety that I was feeling weighed heavy on me, especially in the mornings when I'd wake up. And I had some concerns, there were some health things going on, and I was very new to everything in that time and space, dealing with immune system and gut health and even with Lyme. So, in time I've learned more, and I appreciate bergamot, and I recently got bergamot, so I was so excited to learn that it's super great for seasonal affective disorder, and that this research study is one of the ones that was referenced in some of the literature that I've been reading. So basically in this, it was done in Japan in 2015, and what they did is they took these groups and they had 3 experimental setups. One was a setup for rest, one was a setup for rest plus a water vapor, and then the other was a setup with rest with a water vapor and the essential oil. So they basically had these women and they went through this routine, and then they did research. So one of the things that they researched was the cortisol levels. Now cortisol is linked to your body's stress levels. So when you're in that fight or flight response, your body's going to produce that cortisol and you're going to have that rush. Like you get anxious and your heart starts to beat fast, or you start to sweat. Those are just different signs of the cortisol like pumping through your body. It's a hormone. It's really a survival kind of a thing when your body's under stress. So they basically collected samples of saliva from each of these experimental setups from the women who participated. So they did find a significant difference. There was immediately after each setup, they tested the saliva. So there were volunteers who rested for 15 minutes, others who did the rest plus water, the others that rest plus water plus the bergamot, and then they analyze their response to the experiment in way of measuring it by their saliva cortisol levels. So they found that, I want to read it exactly, it was a significantly distinct outcome. The cortisol values in the rest with a water vapor with a bergamot essential oil the cortisol level was significantly lower when compared to the rest setup. So that was really interesting. And then the other thing that they tested was part of the way the heart rate, it's basically a heart rate value. And this was tested in the context of giving you a good indication that the heart was responding well in the parasympathetic nervous system scope. So where are the levels and are they where they should be in the parasympathetic nervous system activity scope? So they found the heart rate values during those, they looked at the rest and those with, those who did the rest with the vapor with the bergamot, and the scores were significantly increased. In other words, the heart rate was increased to show the proper parasympathetic nervous system activity. So it was where it needed to be. So that was really important. And the very last thing is they used a scale, basically a little survey type of place where you could give some feedback about negative emotions and about your fatigue. So again, they looked at these women with the rest with water vapor, and the rest with the vapor, which was the bergamot essential oil. And guess what? The values that related to the negativity, the feelings of fatigue and negative emotions, the scores on those were improved. So in other words, people felt less negative and felt less fatigue. And this is compared the women who did the test. There was a significant outcome when the women did the test who used the bergamot essential oil. So the conclusion here is that these results demonstrate that the bergamot essential oil inhaled together with the water vapor exerts psychological and physiological effects in a relatively short amount of time. So I think this is great. If you are a person who, wants to find that center and calm, you may just take a few minutes of your day, sit next to a diffuser, maybe grab lavender or maybe grab bergamot or citrus oil. These are uplifting and also calming, and just allow yourself to rest, drink some water, maybe play some calm music, and then just rest for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, hit the reset button and see how you feel. All right, everybody, I hope this has been really helpful to you. Until next time, we'll chat later.